Hello, I am Kethryn, and as stated, I am presenting Wolf-Loving Mother to Killer Beast. Well, I noticed a lot of livestock presentations earlier. You're going to be getting a little bit different animal. Pop quiz. Uh-oh, you didn't know this was coming, did you? Don't worry, it's easy, you'll get it. Now, I have to ask that at least 2 people answer this question, and those 2 people stick through to the end of the presentation, because they will need to answer another question. And now, do I have any volunteers, besides my family, because they're way too well practiced? Yes? Now, my question is, what is your opinion on wolves? Can you please speak up? I can't hear you. So, sort of on the edge as to whether they're good or bad. Alright, I need one more person. Okay, I think I have to pick on somebody. Alright, you in the green. What is your opinion on wolves? Alright, they're mean. So stick around to the end and you'll have to answer one more question. It's also easy. So, bad wolf. Wolves are mean and evil, right? So let's look at how we see them when they're bad. So some things in real life that wolves do that are bad are depredation. They kill livestock. They kill pets. Wow, that can be pretty harsh. Seeing a calf or a lamb that you've raised from birth, suddenly its throat's been ripped out, that would be pretty harsh just to see that. And you would feel pretty bad towards the wolves. You would probably want to kill that wolf. Wolves also attack people. This is not very common, but they still do attack people. They also scare people. I mean, if I walk up on a coyote at night, I freak out because that surprised me. If I walked up on a wolf in the middle of the night, that would scare me a bit more than a coyote. They're a bit bigger. And short stories, 2 that really come to mind are Little Red Riding Hood and the 3 Little Pigs. Little Red Riding Hood's going to her grandma's house, and the wolf takes her off the trail and then eats her and grandma. Sometimes she's saved, sometimes she's not. 3 Little Pigs. 3 pigs are building their house, and the big bad wolf comes along and blows them all down. Sometimes eats the pigs, sometimes doesn't. In movies, The Grey, which I haven't actually seen this one, but from what I've read about it, it's about a pack of rogue wolves that attack and kill a bunch of stranded oil workers. Beauty and the Beast has a wolf chase scene where Beauty is riding on her horse, well, Belle, I believe, is riding on her horse and is chased by wolves. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe has wolves as the witch's minions. And a lot of minor portrayals are violent. We have sleigh chasing scenes, and the wolves suddenly attack you out of nowhere. In fiction writing, Call of the Wild and White Fang, both by Jack London. In Call of the Wild, a dog basically goes to the wolves. The dog sees wolves as sort of vicious creatures. White Fang, it's a wolf going to the dogs. And it also shows them as very violent, vicious creatures, with the very first chapter being about wolves killing a sled dog team. And Good Wolf. What do wolves do that are good? I mean, we've looked at all this bad stuff. What good are they? Well, in real life, wolves do generate local income in an area. People will pay thousands of dollars in ecotourism just to look at a wolf in the wild. Sometimes even just to hear one or see a track. People pay for licenses for hunting, and trapping for fur can generate an income for local residents. And then there's Trophic Cascade. Whoa, what does that mean? That sort of sounds like it should come from the Amazon, about a rainforest or a waterfall or something. Well, what it means is the wolf is a keystone predator. Let's take Yellowstone, for example. Wolves were removed there for a long time. Elk started to just hang around, be sort of lazy. They ate up all the grass in areas and drove other animals away. The wolves, when they were replaced, got the elk moving. They couldn't eat up all these plants. And so animals like hummingbirds and beavers came back because the plants that they needed were growing. So it affects all levels. And they're also often seen as a symbol of wildlife. People who live in the city, who would never even think of seeing a wolf, anything, well, they just like to know they're out there. It's a symbol of wildness. They just want to know it's there. For short stories, The Price of Luxury, also called Wolf and Dog, is about a wolf and dog who are conversing about how the wolf can get a lifestyle like the dogs and have tons of food all the time. But then the wolf is horrified when she is told that she will have to wear a collar. Romulus and Remus is the founding story of Rome, where Romulus and Remus are twins thrown into the Tiber River, and they are rescued and raised by a she-wolf. For movies that show wolves in a positive light, we have Alpha and Omega, which is a story about wolves who have this great little adventure trying to get back home. Never Cry Wolf, which is a movie based on a book, which is the story of a wildlife biologist who is studying wolves in Canada. Balto is about a half-wolf, but several wolves make an appearance through the entire series, and they tend to have minor roles. And The Journey of Natty Gann is not a very popular movie, but it does include a wolf rescued by a girl in the 30s from a dogfighting ring. In fiction, for books, we have Julie of the Wolves. It's actually a series with 3 books by Jean Craighead George. It is about a girl who runs away from an abusive marriage and sort of follows the wolves, eating the leftover kills and watching them. The Wolves of the Beyond series is a fairly popular children's series, which as of yet is unfinished. So all I can say so far is that it is about a wolf who is supposed to save the rest of the packs. Can't say much more. It is by Kethryn Lasky. The International Wolf Center awards a SCAT award every year to the worst representation of a wolf in book and movie. Now they can show them as perfectly loving, nice creatures, but it's inaccurate. This year, they were awarded to Lone Wolf by Jodi Picoult for the book. There are scenes such as wolves flavoring their meat with urine and feces. Yeah, wolves don't do that. And coming back to the same area repeatedly with no pups. Wolves only do that if they have pups, and even then, typically only about 4 to 6 weeks. And for the movie, The Grey, which I described earlier, for representing wolves as killers who will do anything to get revenge. Now, I have to ask you, has those people who I asked the question earlier, has this changed your opinion on wolves at all? Let's start with you in the green first. No? And you in the black? Kind of nice and kind of bad. Open-minded? Yeah. Now, I want you to decide right here, just think about it a little bit. Is that howl a monster? Or a pack of wolves just trying to take care of their pups? Is that pup going to turn into a killer beast? Or a loving mother trying to survive in its world? Just think about it. And maybe do some research later. And decide. And these are my sources for photos. And the sources for information, obviously, were basic synopsises of stories and information that can widely be found, and I at least see as common knowledge. Are there any questions? Yes?
Is there a big wolf population in Iowa?
No. As far as it is known, there is no wolf population in Iowa beyond the occasional wandering loner that comes in from Minnesota or Wisconsin. These are not typically staying here permanently and are just crossing the border. Are there any other questions? If there are no other questions, this concludes my presentation, Wolf, Loving Mother to Killer Beast.